Hello dudes, in this video I will show how to install Totum on DigitalOcean. It's very easy to do with this instruction. Next I will speak on my native, but you will have English voiceover.
So, we register on DigitalOcean. It is easy to find them by searching on Google, or there will be a partner link under this video. At registration they will ask to register your credit card, but you pay nothing in advance. Payment occurs at the end of the month, and ordered servers are paid by the hour. That is, you can easily experiment with Totum for a few days for about $1. Next, the full installation requires your own domain. If you already have a corporate domain name, you can address the third-level domain to the server being created. If you do not have it, you can buy a domain in a discount domain zone from any registrar. There are options for $2 for a year. And the third option, if you do not want to bother with a domain, and just try, you can install without a domain. The instructions you are watching now, with a complete installation with the domain. This command will be used below. If you scroll down, you'll see instructions and a command to install without a domain. There will be a similarly working setup script. But I want to warn you right away, this option is just for trying. If you like it, then you remove from the server installed without a domain, buy a domain and follow these instructions to have a working complete scheme with a domain. Converting a scheme without a domain to a scheme with a domain is very difficult, so if you set up without a domain, don't start developing there. Your ultimate solution is to do a domain join setup and start developing your first solution on it. So, here we go. The installation itself. When I went into DigitalOcean, I went right here to the start page. We have the first default project. We say we want to create a droplet. Here we have to make sure we have the 20th Ubuntu. If any other Ubuntu is selected here, switch to 20. Next, this part refers to your fully dedicated servers. This one refers to processors shared with other users. And it's the cheapest one, it's good enough for us. Here I recommend to choose exactly the premium AMD or Intel. The cheapest one here is one processor. If you have more than 10 users, I recommend that you have 2 processes at least. If you want to save money, then choose one processor. Next, here we choose the location of the data center. You choose the one that is closer to you. I choose the European one. Authentication. We need a password option. We're going to use the built-in console in this tutorial, so a password is good enough for us. And this is where you're going to need to enter a password for that user. Come up with someone. Okay, next I recommend choosing backup. And the rest of the options we don't need here. And let's give this machine a name. I have a test named Totum Monster and let's add a tag. Let it be Totum tag. That's it, click Create Droplet. You have to wait about a minute for it to be created. Here is the droplet created here. You have to connect the domain to it right away. Click on these 3 dots, say, Add Domain and enter the domain that you will use for the Totum. I have a test domain, and I say Add Domain. Here we are in the domain settings. Where you bought the domain, you need to direct it to these NS addresses. Here are instructions on how to do this depending on your domain registrar. You can see here in detail with pictures. NS addresses are updated for some time, about 3 hours. So when you add them, take a break for 3 hours and then continue the installation. Because you need a working domain in order for everything to install properly. Then we come back here, press the 3 dots, say that we need a console, and start the console. Here it is. From the root we do not change anything, we wait until it starts. Okay, here the first thing to do is to check if our domain is connected. Say ping and input the domain that we addressed here. I have Totum Monster. See if the ping goes through. If you see something like this, that's it, okay. To stop it you have to press Ctrl+C. Next we take the command from the manual. Here it is. Auto install. We take this command, or one on the GitHub page, paste it here. Enter. Script checks if the encoding is set correctly on the server. The default here is not the one we want, and we need to enter A in order to correct it automatically. There is a little instruction here about this. We press enter. Same thing, it tells us that on the first screen we only have to have NUS selected, and on the second screen we have to choose NUS. We say A again. The installation of the localization starts. On the first screen we don't need to do anything here. You can scroll down this list using the down or up key. In order to say OK, you have to press Tab. It will light up OK. Next we press Enter. And here we need to select NUS UTF-8. Accordingly, the tab OK. We press OK. Wait a while until the locale is set. It applies only after a restart of the server, which will happen automatically. We just need to press Enter and we see that the console is off. We wait 30 seconds for the droplet to reboot, then we press Reload and the console will reconnect to our server. Here we are inside. Now we don't have to go for the setup command again. We can press the up key and we get the last command entered. This is it. We have already checked the valid domain here. We have checked its ping. So we say enter and we need to select where we are by typing the appropriate number and enter. 7. I am in Europe, Spain. I want Central Spanish time and confirm that yes, this is my Central Spanish time. Now I need to come up with a password for the database. You come up with your password with capital and small letters and numbers. Here we enter a valid email address where the certificate will be registered. No spam will be sent there, there will be no marketing. To this email address the Totum installed on this server will send critical notifications of its working. I will enter my email address. Enter. Now I need to come up with a password for the Totum superuser, which will be created during installation. I also enter a technical one. You will come up with a normal one. Enter. Now we need to carefully and accurately enter the domain that we are installing, which we have ping checked, no HTTP, HTTPS and so on. We are now installing on Totum Monster. You enter your domain. If you have a third-level domain, you enter your third-level domain here. Enter. Now we need to choose the installation language. Let's choose English. Everything is ready for the system to install. Enter A, press Enter, and wait for everything to happen. First the machine automatically checks the domain. To do this we have to answer yes. The next two questions look like this. Yes. Enter. Just press and here to press Enter. Then it checks the domain. If the domain is OK, you should see a message that the domain is OK, and then the installation will proceed. If Let's Encrypt cannot issue a certificate for your domain, the installation will be aborted. And you will have to wait until you have NS redirects working or Let's Encrypt can obtain your certificate. Installation takes a few minutes to look at these crawling roaches. No action is required of you as a user. When you install the base, this red stuff is normal. This is how the base tells you that it is up and running. This is how the Totum itself is installed. The certificate is already received, it is valuable. It will be reissued automatically, no action is required of you. And this is the final installation message. We can already open the Totum at this address, using the admin and password. But we need to do a couple of things, so that the mail that you will send from this server, such as notifications, will work correctly. We need to add 2 TXT entries for your domain. One is for the DKIM signature. The second one is called SPF. We copy this part of the mail.domain key. We go back to DigitalOcean. We go to our project. We go to the domain and we need to add a TXT entry here. Here it is, this host name we paste here. Here it tells you what will be the full host name, and the full host name should be like this, as we have it written here. Check it out. That's okay. Then we copy this record, from V to the last character here without extra spaces, and paste it there. You can put a smaller TTL here, like 300. Create an entry. With the second entry in a similar way. Just copy this content here. Then go here and paste this value here. And here we need to enter our main domain totemmonster. So for Totum Monster, we should have this SPF record. The same thing is TTL300. Create an entry. You have, then, not Totum Monster, but your domain, which you use in the installation. Next, we see a message that hosters usually have port 25 blocked for sending mail. DigitalOcean is not an exception. You will need to write to tech support to unblock 25 port for sending emails and explain the purpose for which, and how much you will be sending these emails. Now we can go to this address and use this login and password set for the system. Login, and here is a working totem. We can use full of it. Enjoy using it and see you in the training course. Bye bye.